Hello, it's a nice fall day here in Montana with temperatures in the 90s, a little warm, but we decided we wanted to go up into those hills in our backyard. Those are the Tobacco Root Mountains. Now, Lucky, as you know, the sponsor of this channel, Travels with Lucky, has a new rig. It's a 700 axis. So my original intention was to do a review on how well this handles. Well, as it turned out, we ended up going from 5,000 feet up to 9,000 feet. It was such a beautiful drive that it turned out to be more of a drive with beautiful scenery heading on up to a high mountain lake. Once again, this is in the Tobacco Root Mountains. I'm not revealing exactly where it is because there are some private places and cabins along the way, but I just thought a lot of you would be interested to see how beautiful these Tobacco Root Mountains are. It's on the west side of the Tobacco Roots, and if you go straight over on the other side of these mountains, it's the Madison Range, and the Madison River runs down along the other side. But we were pretty impressed with the drive up the mountain. It was very easy going. Like I said, we were climbing up some pretty high elevation there. 5,000 feet. Well, 4,000 to 5,000 feet is about how high we climbed. And it just traveled very well. As you can see, it's a classic mountain road. Lots of pine trees. There's some great huge boulders along the way. But the one thing that I was impressed with going up the mountain road, because we have gone up here with a truck, and it's very uncomfortable in a truck because there's some pretty rocky spots. But this little Axis 700 is quite a smooth riding machine. And although it did get a little hot where the engine is between the two of us, it wasn't too bad. We've had a Kawasaki side-by-side four-seater before, which got extremely hot and it was extremely noisy. So this modified side-by-side is really nice. We were impressed because that's what we want to do. We want to be able to explore the mountains in our backyard. There's so many great high altitude lakes up in there that this gives us an opportunity to get out and go up and see some more of the country that's just a few miles away. So this total trip ended up to be 23 miles, or maybe 26 miles. It's like 13 miles up and 13 miles back. And once we got up to the lake, it was just gorgeous. And of course, Lucky absolutely loves the water, so he had some fun swimming. There we are, just arriving at the lake and getting out and doing a few different things. So we've reached our destination, one of the high mountain lakes in our backyard. We haven't been up here but one other time, and it's just gorgeous. It's a hot day though, but it's a good day to be up in the mountains. A little bit of wind coming up. You can see the dust blowing. Yeah, so walking in there is like walking on wet volcanic ash. It's very fine, slippery, and it feels like quicksand. So, yeah, I don't think I'll be walking around in there. Be nice to have a little raft, though. Oh, like he sees me, so he's gonna swim all the way over here. Atta boy, Lucky! Lucky's a flat-coated retriever. He absolutely loves water. Everywhere we go, it's got to have water. Now he's gonna swim back. So this is actually the rim of a volcano all around here. So that's sheer cliff, really. Straight up. Pretty impressive. It would take some pretty serious rock climbers to go up over that. There's all kinds of high mountain lakes like this in the tobacco roots. So just judging from the tree line, I would say we're at about 9,000 in elevation. That ought to be 10. Pretty far up here. Yep, so here begins the water, one of the water sources for Ruby Valley. What's left of it heads on down into the Jefferson and eventually into the Missouri River. So this is the top of the water chain. You gonna look at me? Chippy. Hi, Chippy. What you doing, Chippy? Soaking up the sun? It's kind of hot, isn't it? Well, this gives you a pretty good idea of what some of these high mountain lakes look like. And today was a little bit smoky, but not too bad once we got up above the smoke. Well, now we're going to be heading down. A lot of this is in hyperspeed, obviously. But it was a pretty impressive ride. Afterwards, we felt a little shook up. We aren't used to doing so much in one day, but it was a really good ride. We're happy so far with the Access 700. We made a couple of modifications from the first time we went out. We took a couple of 2x4s and a piece of plywood and we put it on the back so that there's like about a 4-inch lift so that Lucky isn't sitting right on the heat. And then we put the mat on that, and amazingly that really did keep the heat down. I kept feeling back there to make sure he wasn't getting too hot. You can see where he's sitting there. Not right under that is the engine, so it does get pretty hot if you're right there on the metal, but with this little lift it really helped eliminate that heat, so he enjoyed that. The other modification we did, which you'll see in another video with him looking out the window, we removed the center bar that was in between the two seats, and we figured, well, you know, we're not like crazy drivers, we're not going to be, well, we could roll, but basically we're really cautious, you know, because we're not of that generation that likes speed. We just like to take our time. So that gives Lucky an opportunity to stick his head between the two of us or look out the window. He can hop up in the seats and crawl on through the back. So that was another modification which really helped a lot. So as we head down, I just cut out a lot of it because the person could get kind of seasick going so fast watching these hyperspeed videos. But it was a beautiful drive. Lots of deep, heavily pined forest, as you would expect going up in the mountains. Aspen groves here and there. It was really beautiful and not much traffic. I think we only passed 2 vehicles maybe going up, and we only saw 2 people while we were up at the lake. A young couple came by, and so it was a really peaceful day, very enjoyable. This is an old mining camp right here that we're passing by, heading on down the mountain. There's some really beautiful rock cliffs and so forth. If you ever watch Mountain Man, there's a cat hunter out of Sheridan that's one of the featured mountain men, and this is the country where he hunts quite a bit and takes, you know, moves the cats, pushes them back up in here, this area, because, you know, it's so rocky. It's perfect, great country for cat and bear and all other kinds of wildlife too. This is Forest Service. A lot of people do hunt up here and so forth, and we are getting into hunting season, so a person has to be more careful. And look at that, look at those colors. It's fall, is, like I said in the beginning, fall is just around the mountain, and it certainly was. The colors are starting to come out. You'd never know it because down in the valley it's like in the 90s. It's super hot. So here we are heading on down the mountain. It was really a great day for a ride so far. Now, my next video, or one of these videos coming up, I will do a review on this Access 700. So far, I have to say we're pretty happy with it. But I'll go into more detail on some of the great features about it. I just didn't want this video to get to be too long. Probably already is, but some beautiful scenery. I hope you're enjoying it. And if you like these kinds of videos, click that like button, and be sure to subscribe. Now that Lucky has something a little bit more powerful than a 33-year-old gas-powered golf cart, he is able to take us on some more interesting adventures up into the mountains. So we'll be doing more of that in the future, showing you some of the great, beautiful places in Montana. There is a beautiful creek on the left side of the road going down, which I wasn't able to really film. And these are some of the great cliffs along here. Great cat country. Yeah, that's why they do the mountain man filming back in this area. So right there is where we took the middle bar out. It just makes it a little bit easier for Lucky to stick his head if he wants to get in and out or just get closer. But he really loves riding in the back. He just loves the wind blowing and being able to look right, left, wherever. So it's really a great rig for the three of us. I'm not like sponsored by this company or anything. I just think a lot of people are interested to know how we like it, and Lucky loves it, as you can see by the smile on his face. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.